Hey, what's up, guys? So this is actually the second time I'm having to record this video because one of my recorders, like sometimes when I'm recording, the screen freezes during the recording, so like it'll be stuck on a screen. Even though I'm navigating through the game and showing everything, like it records the audio, the mouse movement, and everything just fine. But like it just stays frozen on the screen and it doesn't go through. So this is my second time recording it. I really hate when I have to record something more than once because then I don't remember if I talked about something or not because I talked about it in the first recording. So, first of all, I want to go ahead and, I did my giveaway announcements. I'm going to go ahead and link that clip in here so you guys can see it. It's pretty short. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, here I have the names entered in the giveaway. I'm going to roll this 2 times and whoever the arrow lands on will be getting $20 for either Google Play or iTunes. This is for my Raid Shadow Legends sponsored stream. Yeah, so let's go ahead and spin it. So we got Azzy Leo. Cool. Remove him. And one more. Ooh, so close, Enru. So close. And we got Unfreeze, the first one that actually entered. Alrighty. So I'm going to ping these dudes and let them know that they won, and I'll just incorporate this into a video that I make. Alrighty. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so let's go ahead and move forward with the video, right? So I want to talk about the most important piece of gear in the game that you can get. This is going to feel really obvious to a lot of people, but I think a lot of people out there, it's not going to feel as obvious too. So I'm going to just talk about why, okay? That's what we're going to do. So first, let's just go to the unit that mine is equipped on, right? So here's my Scuff Cerise, okay? And the piece of gear that I'm talking about that's really important for you to look at and try to get throughout playing the game is not this piece of gear specifically, it's just an example of the gear, right? Effectiveness main stat rings with speed subs are very important. Speed set's a bonus. You don't always need that, right? Ideally, speed set is nice to get, but this is just another instance of RNG. Personally, every effectiveness ring that you get with a speed sub, that's 3 or 4, always roll it, even if the other subs are complete trash. And the reason I say this is because this ring right here, the effectiveness main stat ring with a high speed sub, is usable on so many top end meta units and higher end RTA. Because right now, in topper end PvP, RTA, etc., CC comps are the meta. They're at least 50% of the meta. There's other stuff in there. There's speed cleaves, there's bruiser comps, there's, you know, full damage cleaves and etc. I think those teams kind of make up half of the meta, and then the other half is CC, because CC is stupid strong in this game. Debuffs are stupid strong in this game, but it's very gated by gear. And the most important piece of gear you can get are those effectiveness rings. They don't necessarily have to have high speed on them, but for units like Clurry, Cerise, Faithless Lidica, Fire Lidica, there's so many relevant debuff units in the game that really benefit from those. Like just going through my 6 stars, I'll just show you the units that all can use an effectiveness main stat ring, like effectively, depending on the subs and, you know, the set and etc. Like Adventurer Ras comes with a strip, he comes with a defense break. If you have an effectiveness main stat ring on your Ras, he can more reliably land defense breaks on those Ruels and etc. Stuff that typically has higher resist, because you only need, like, typically units have like that want resist have like 150 resist, right? Give or take, some more, some less, etc. If you get a 60% effectiveness on your ring, you're not taking away quite half of it. Probably about a little over a third. But just running an effectiveness main stat ring gives you the chance to actually land debuffs on those high ER units. Cecilia is another unit. Lilius is another unit. Lidica. Carrot. Tenimbria. Like, just going through my units. I wouldn't do it on Crow, personally. Cerise. If you want a higher effectiveness SSB, yes. Dizzy, yes. Alencia can run an effectiveness main stat ring. Euphine can be ran as a stripper with an effectiveness main stat ring. Armin. Clury, definitely. So you get my drift here. Iseria. Basar. So many units in the upper end of the meta. Tywin. SBA. Like, and I'm just going through the units that I have at 6-star personally. Fat Cat. Crozet provokes. You can run effectiveness main stat. Cecilia provokes. You can... Champion Zerato not necessarily, but you can run an effectiveness main stat ring on him as well. There's so many, and then even units I don't even have built. You know, there's Sage, Bale, and Cezanne. There's so many different units. Fire, or like Faithless Lidica is another one that I just don't have, right? And like there's Silk, or ML Silk mainly. There's ML Roman, there's Gerardo, there's regular Roman. So many units that benefit from these effectiveness main stat rings. So many. A lot of units need them, and a lot of these units want to be fast at the same time. And if I show you my tragedy here, and one of the reasons why I'm struggling in the topper ends of PvP, like the units that really deal with debuff teams, because you can't really just say, oh, just resist it, just cleanse it. It's because effect resistance is a terrible stat for the reasons I was just talking about with Ras. Just running an effectiveness main stat ring on him gives you a chance to debuff units that run really high ER. They would have to have, like, if he just ran the ring and no other, they would have to have 160 ER to completely avoid getting debuffed by Ras. They need 100 more than you have to completely avoid it. So if you have a 100 effectiveness Ras, they need 200% ER to effectively make it to where you can't defense break them at all. That's why there's so much value in these effectiveness main stat rings and these upper end Basars. Like, you can tell when a Basar is fast on an effectiveness ring and not fast on an effectiveness ring, because you can bring in some bunk ass ER unit and just resist it and cleanse it, right? But if they have that effectiveness main stat ring, it makes it so much harder to do. And this is why I think it's the most important piece of gear in the game to get, especially coupled with high speed subs. If I show you my tragedy and my misfortune here, like if I go to my rings and I look at my effectiveness rings, so we go main stat effectiveness. These are all the ones I have. And you'll notice a trend here in mine. No speed sub. No speed sub. 4 speed. 9 speed. This is my best one. No speed sub. 7 speed. 7 speed. 7 speed. 5 speed. 7 speed. You get the trend here? This is another one I try to get. No speed sub. I actually can't run effective debuff teams because I don't have this piece of gear. It makes it really hard for me to contend with speed. You can run a slower version of the team and it can work very well, assuming like this ring's not bad. It's coupled with, you know, higher health or whatever, but like it's still not a fantastic ring. Same instance with this one, right? Like typically effect resistance and effect resist on the or effectiveness and effect resist, like both the effect stats, right, coupled on the same piece of gear are typically counterproductive because there's not many units that need both of them. Aside from maybe Kitty Clarissa is like one that comes to mind, but yeah. So basically what I'm trying to say here is all of my effectiveness rings suck. That's what I'm saying. So I'm forced into the kind of bruiser thing, and the only units that really counter, because ER is useless. I've already said that. It's, as well, it's not useless. It's bad. Running high ER is bad because it just gets canceled out with the same amount of effectiveness. So you actually need 100 more effect resistance than effectiveness for it to be good, which just isn't possible with getting the other stats, especially when there's units like this asshole right here, where you can literally just build this stat, this stat, and this stat, and nothing else. When you take a healer, you need this stat, this stat, this stat, and this stat to a degree. Okay? Basar just needs this stat and this stat. Well, this one, yeah. Making it a lot easier to hit the thresholds of this over this for the healers. So he does his job, regardless. That's why he's such a good unit, right? But the reason he can do that is getting a high-speed effectiveness ring. And that's just the point of this video. Just to kind of tell you guys how important this piece of gear is. So this is just kind of like a PSA. If you get those rings and you think this is trash, give it a double look. If it's effectiveness and it has a 3-speed, it has a 4-speed, even if the other 2 subs are complete trash, give it a couple rolls. You never know. It could turn into like a 15, 16, 17 speed ring with trash subs. But if you're looking at a Basar, he doesn't care about the other subs. He just needs this one and this one to do what he wants to do. Same thing with Cerise. You could do the same thing to the extent with Dizzy. A lot of these units. And these are the enablers for those CC comps that are so good in the meta right now. And that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. So, I'm sure a lot of people know this already, but I'm also sure that there's a lot of people that don't know this. That's why I made this video. If there's anything else that you guys want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments. I know I'm really slacking on doing content. I don't want to slack, but you know, maybe talking about motivation's another thing I have to do in a video. Like my whole mindset on the thing. So if anyone's interested in hearing my thoughts on, like, you know, stuff, just like not necessarily Epic 7, but like, you know, just stuff, life stuff, then that's something I could do in the next video if people are interested in hearing me talk about that stuff. But yeah. As for now, like if you enjoyed this one. Let me know if you got some insight from it. If you already knew all this stuff, that's great, and you're still watching it. That's why you're a cool guy. If you're new here, drop me a sub. I'd appreciate it. Let's hit 10K. You guys have a good one. Peace.
Yeah.